Brick and Mouth Syndrome, and welcome to another weekly news video update thing-ish, kind of, whatever. There's only really one story this week that is of any importance that needs to be looked at and talked about. And that is Sick New World. The Sick New World Festival in Vegas has announced its lineup. They are part of the When We Were Young sort of circle of festivals out there, and they're kind of cool. They are run by Live Nation, the same as Download, so it gives us an actual look now at what bands will be around and touring, hopefully, next year. And with this happening 27th of April, there's a good chance these bands will be available during the summer and at least show us what should be happening. Granted, this is just a one-day event, so a lot of these might not tour, and we've still got to take into consideration who was there last year, because they will definitely, well, I say that, Skindred. 5 years on the trot now. It gives us an idea of who could be touring next year, and what we can sort of expect from Download lineup when it should be announced. Some of it should be announced sometime soon. We do still have 3 headliners that are rumoured for Download, and those rumours are seemingly getting stronger by the day. So let's have an actual look at this lineup. The 2 headliners that they've got for Sick New World are System of a Down and Slipknot. 2 very strong early 2000s bands that are perfect for that sort of throwback festival that this is. Obviously System haven't been there in a few years. People are somehow still moaning that they've been there too often. Don't quite get that. And Slipknot proved that they can still go this year, so fuck it, people can eat shit on that one. But neither of which are supposedly going to be there. System would have a headline slot at this point at Download. Corey Taylor did say he wants to do something at Download this coming year. Slipknot did say they would be taking a break for a little while, and the fact they've announced this one festival day is interesting, but it is just a one-off, one-day show. It's when you get further down this lineup that interesting things start to appear. There are acts like A Perfect Circle and Primus. Those bands don't tour too often, don't seem to do that much, especially outside of America. A Perfect Circle are notorious for touring very irregularly, less often than Pussifer. But it is interesting that these are on tour. Primus, The Perfect Circle and Pussifer are doing a 7-day run in America for Maynard's birthday, which is quite interesting. If they're willing to tour for that, there is a possibility they may come overseas. Nothing concrete, nothing confirmed, it is just speculation on my behalf, but it is a possibility. Any of those 3 bands could make it over to the Download lineup this year. That's kind of cool. I'm a massive fan of A Perfect Circle. I absolutely love Primus, and Pussifer don't really do anything for me. Another act we have on there is Danny Elfman. That is the Danny Elfman. The Danny Elfman. I think it would be hilarious to be sat in Donington and have the Batman theme going on around me. You may have noticed I'm a nerd. I like Batman. Be quite happy to hear the fucking Batman theme going on around me. Be really cool. As highly unlikely as it would be for this one act to be there, I do think it'd be very, very cool for it to happen. Likelihood is very low, but it would still be so fucking cool. There are a lot of bands on this lineup for Sick New World that have performed at Download last year. So we have Bring Me the Horizon, Ice Nine Kills, Slipknot, Motionless in White, Skindred are on here because Skindred are everywhere, and there are various others mixed in amongst them. This is very much a Download-centric style lineup, which is so very interesting. What's most interesting about this are the bands that have also announced tours with other bands and haven't secured, or announced at least, any other English dates or any other UK dates so far. Wednesday 13 is touring with Cradle of Filth in Europe in the summer of next year, and Wednesday 13 is specifically doing an old Murder Dolls set, which is very, very interesting. And the fact they have not announced a UK set of dates for that yet leads me to believe that it could be Download or another festival that they're waiting to announce something first before they put their own smaller dates up. That could possibly hinder themselves on that one. I don't really know. It's an interesting topic to look at. The other thing to look at there is that there are bands that haven't really done stuff over here for a while due to various reasons. Acts like Static X, Kitty, and in a similar vein to Static X, Alice in Chains is also on this lineup. I don't know who their current singer is, but that's very interesting. And then we have to consider the acts that are not of the time period, but are certainly fitting in that genre. Smaller acts like Static Dress, who were not at Download this year, but have been there at previous years. And we also have Kim Dracula, but the absolute mess of noise that comes out of this person is so amazing and so fun and fresh and rejuvenating. It does harken back to stuff of that era, and it does make sense that they would be there. Especially if they're currently touring with Avenged Sevenfold and Falling in Reverse. So we have a strong possibility that Kim Drac could be over. I am willing at this point to say that is a fairly solid confirmed for being over. Again, could be wrong. But looking at everything else that's going on around that time, I would say that this is one artist especially that would want to come over and would want to do Download Festival. There's another act on this lineup that I think would also be a strong possibility for Download: Baby Metal. They are currently touring with Death Clock. Those that don't know, they are from a cartoon on Adult Swim called Metalocalypse, about a bunch of... how's best to describe it? They are fucking retards in a death metal band that is somehow the world's economy in the universe of that cartoon. And of course all the music is playable live by a band, the creator of the show, and they've been touring with Baby Metal. It's quite possibly the funniest shit I've ever heard of. There is a slim possibility at least that Death Clock could be over, but it's more likely that Baby Metal will be over. Obviously, there are shitloads more bands on this lineup that I haven't even mentioned yet, like Fear Factory and Combi Christ. So there is a lot of possibility and a lot of names that are being announced to be doing something in the early summer, which would give them a month gap between doing that and if they wanted to come over to the UK. There is a possibility that everything I've said is utter bullshit. There is a possibility that this festival simply never happens. Who knows? Who knows what's going to go on this year? But it is certainly looking good for anything that's coming out of this now. Anything that could happen next year. There are so many names on the board and so many things that haven't happened, and with Copping now looking towards the future of the festival and bringing up, I'd still call them smaller bands. They are not of the legendary status of some of these legacy bands. If he's bringing up the non-legacy bands to headline, there's a lot more chance that things are going to happen. Things will be different. And it can only be good. Who knows? The original leaked lineup from the known leaker that has been right, he could be fucking with people this year. Hopefully it is that lineup, because I'm kind of sold on it already, but hopefully the undercard does bring something fresh and new to sort of even out the more classic lineup that we have up top. Either way, it should be something very cool this year, and here's hoping for it. I now have that time booked off and I will definitely be going. Hooray. This is where we need to talk about down in the comments. Here is the lineup. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you're excited and if you see any possibility of these bands coming over. I've spoken to some people that have been to the one from last year, said it was really good, just piss poorly organised. Here's hoping they've changed that one up, because God knows Download needs to do the same this year from their piss poor organisation. So, till next week, see you!